Today we're doing a speed build, and for some reason it's raining. So this is the space that we're gonna be transforming. First of all, let's roast this space, alright? I want to create a little opening area right here, so the second you get off of the airplane, you have just an area to kind of rest. And I want a road that connects from the airport all the way to the plaza. Now you'll notice something that might make you angry is that the center of the door for my plaza is here, and if you walk straight, it doesn't quite, well, I guess it kind of lines up with the docks. So we really gotta make sure that we make things symmetrical somehow. Not sure how I'm gonna do that, but we'll make it work. Aside from that, I would like to prep a place for the museum. And I was thinking of elevating the ground right over here and up and around the plaza. And so I'm going to have elevated tiers behind the plaza to kind of show off the fact that this is the center of town almost. Teddy's house auto-filled without me really noticing, and so I wanted to see who it was, but I was disappointed. There are multiple places that I want to terraform today. Since we're so early on in the game, I don't have a whole lot of items that relate to what I want to decorate the island with. I have some, but I don't have enough. So this episode's going to be a super quick terraforming, moving of houses and facilities episode. Building inclines, and we're going to just carve the land out today. And today Red is visiting, and I think it's a perfect time for us to prep Red's secret island. For Red's island, I kind of want to carve out this little space up here. So you can only really access it if you walk around. Surprise! This video is going to have a lot of narration, so hang on tight. Before we can even begin to dig out this area, we really have to get rid of this water area. It's going to be hard to chip down the earth if it's still here.
Ah, the beast! No! Oh!
I wasn't expecting that. There's something about watching yourself build that's really satisfying when it's sped up. This video did take a really long time, but since you know it's at ×10 speed, it's not so bad. Anyway, we're just kind of carving out the land here. I want to keep this space looking somewhat natural, like a hidden cave. Like I want the entrance to this area to be very small, but then when you step in, there's like this whole other world back here. I always love highlighting the hidden beaches in Animal Crossing, and there are so many fun ways of decorating the space, and so I thought I would just kind of tell you what I had in mind. I think it would be really cool to build like a shady area where, like, kind of like the black market back here, lots of grungy, it's top secret. Not many people know that this beach is back here. So we have successfully carved this place out. It's just a small space. I'm going to extend, when we do eventually decorate this spot, I'm just going to extend to this beach and this rock. I'm going to add some kind of gateway, so the only way you can enter is if you like enter in through here. But it's just going to be kind of like a shady dock area. Because my island is going to be mostly like city neon, we gotta get good somehow, and so there's gonna be some shady things happening at these docks over here, and that's for us to decorate. Now that we have that area nice and prepped, I want to start prepping all of our location areas. I need to pick up this area before we can start getting to it, so let's just clean this up here. This was really satisfying to do, just to take out all of the bushes, all the trash, all the flowers, and put them somewhere else. It did take me a while to go back and forth from my inventory to planting the bushes somewhere, just to make sure that my inventory was clear. Having a blank canvas is amazing. And then these flowers here, I shouldn't have planted them there. I should have taken them out into the distance and planted them, but that's for later me to deal with. I love having an aesthetically pleasing map. Even though I'll probably never use this cobblestone for looks, I'm going to put custom designs over it, so I just want the path to be visible on the map. Just because, you know, it's a little extra detail that's unnecessary, but for some reason I have to do it. Creating the little side wings of this space. I'm not sure how much I like the width, but we'll have to see if that works. Here I'm putting on the nice purple custom road design that I got from this user here. I really like how the road is in a set. I think it works really well. Here I was deciding if I wanted to even have the cobble underneath in order to not have that transparency with the path. But I decided against it. If I don't like it later, I have a quick and easy thing in mind that I can fix. But for now, I kind of like that how the grass is overlapping the little lighter purple sidewalk there. I loved working with this path. Like every single corner, there were different sidewalk patterns that you can choose from. I've always wanted to work with a road in Animal Crossing, and so this was a great way for me to actually get into it. I like the idea of the water next to the road. I don't know how wide I'm gonna make it, but for now it's gonna stay roughly 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks wide. And here I go, just creating a nice bowl of land surrounding the resident services because I want there to be somewhat of a elevated city look right behind services. And I've also never had an island where the resident services wasn't surrounded by cliffs or something. I don't like that building just being out in the open. I need it to have something behind it or surrounding it. Now we are extending the land. Let's extend the land so that we have a place to put the museum. I realized here that I was closing myself in as I was digging around, so I had to create a little exit for myself. I do tend to go back and forth from putting custom designs down and not, because I'm very scatterbrained. This is where the roads are going to kind of split off from the main road, just so we have the ability to traverse around the island and we're not just stuck on one road. Here, though, this was a mistake. I thought in my head, those neon palm trees would look really good on these little mini islands. I'm gonna put one on each of these little islands, and I didn't know that they wouldn't fit on a 1 block space. And I didn't want to have to deal with a big clunky island, right in the middle of those tiny slivers of water, so I had to scratch that idea sadly, but I'll put the palm trees somewhere else nearby. I have a few more ideas of where I can put them. So I had to erase all of those little islands that I made, but you know, we're just feeling it out as we make it. Putting down some of these blue fences. I'm not sure how I like it, but I do like having something there to keep us from the water as we go around and kind of fill out the back here so we can add another level behind resident services. But I kind of noticed as I was building that Zoe, she tends to hang out in the back alley of the resident services. I don't know what she's doing. She's kind of just hanging out behind the building. She likes to linger around and watch me, but I don't know, kind of creepy. Purchasing our first incline. I really like this blue steel incline. It took me a while to kind of really figure out where I wanted it to go because they're harder to take down if you don't like them, but I like the idea of it splitting off right from resident services. So overall, I really liked where I put that, and I'm making sure that there is a 2 block distance between this next tier, mostly because I want to put a lot of decorations behind there when I eventually get them. Kind of widening this path here a little bit on both sides of the road. I tried to kind of extend the road to either sides, and I wasn't really sure if I liked how narrow that looked. Like, it kind of just looks like a bike path almost, but it was just too skinny. Yeah, on the top and bottom, the width was fine, being 3 blocks apart, but the 2 blocks apart, I didn't really like that, so I go back and I changed that to be more of a sidewalk than a split off of the road, and I actually like that a lot better. And I'm kind of continuing the path up here from the ramp. It'll be right next to the museum, and this path will lead us throughout the island when we inevitably build that area. Blathers gives us permission to move his building, but then I had an awkward exchange with a little someone. What do you want, Zoe? I'm frightened. Almost death stares from Zoe and the ominous clock chiming in the distance. I had a little bit of spook there. I don't know, maybe teasing Zoe was not the best call. She seems mentally unstable. Here I am just putting down the museum. It is a big boy, so I had to extend this cliffside a little bit, and luckily Flora's house was not in the way of that. I'm very glad I didn't have to move her house. But just trying to get the final shape for this cliff here before putting down the museum. I kind of wanted to have some variety in the elevation right in front of the museum, mostly because I'm going to put the Able Sisters shop like right at the foot of this cliff that I just built, and I don't want to be able to see the museum from the Able Sisters shop. I time traveled a bit to see what the museum looked like with the cliff, and I needed to shave down that island that I made because it was kind of in the way. It was too tight of a space. Deciding what I want to do for the front of the museum, I decided to kind of have like an open patio area that I could choose to decorate at some point. Not sure how I'm gonna decorate it, but I have a few ideas that I could do. I inevitably widened this path here that I'm working on, mostly because I don't like the 2 spaced paths. It needs to be either a 3 or a 4 for me. I don't know. I like having a wide space when I walk. So I cut into that cliff a little bit more as I add this main road. And when I was adding the sidewalk colors, there's so many different sidewalk patterns to choose from. I kind of wanted to see what they look like before choosing, and I initially went with the original sidewalk color, but I'm excited to use these other patterns. They all work really well together. I have this nice little area carved out. It's nice to have designated spots for these big buildings. I went into resident services to move Francine's house because it's currently where I want to put the Able Sisters. But apparently she was sick, and you can't move her house if she's sick. She's sick? What? Why are you you're sick? I have to heal you in order to move your house. You shall be healed, so I can take your property and move location. She recovered from the coronavirus pretty quickly, and we were able to move her house. Luckily, the spot where the museum used to be was a pretty good temporary spot to put her house, so I didn't like how this road split off from the airport. I didn't really see a need to have that many crossroads off of one road, so I instead decided to turn this into kind of like a more natural water space, and I put a small sidewalk here where I'll eventually put a bench when I have a good looking bench. before I can really keep carving into the water, I had to move all of these plants and get them out of the way. I should have done that in the first place. I also don't know why it was raining. Like, this is the second day and it's still raining. It's nice for my flowers, but it was really dark and wet, and it probably wasn't safe to be building in the rain. After a certain point of putting the path down, I kind of realized that there isn't a whole lot that I can do until the original Able Sisters building is here, so I decided to time travel to the next day. Are they secretly lovers? What are they talking about?
Hey, Francine, I've meant to tell you something.
Oh, really? Are you sure you want to tell me in front of Isa?
Huh? Never mind the kiddo. There's something I need to tell you.
Well, out with it then. Don't hold back. Cover your ears, Isa.
Actually, on second thought, forget it. It's not important.
Oh, Now I'll be wondering about it all day. It was a love confession. The way he looks at her.
Waiter.
Have you ever been over to the old Francine's place? It's not for me to say, but I'm sure glad that I didn't catch her deadly sickness that she just had.
Wait, does that mean you were in close proximity to each other recently? What a beautiful love story. Anyway, with her house out of the way, we were finally able to fill in this space a little bit, and I realized I was getting ahead of myself because I have to move the building first. I kept getting distracted by the fact that this was the first time shooting stars were happening on this island, and every now and then you might even see I take a peek up into the sky to make a wish, wishing that whatever I design here will look beautiful and not just a bunch of pictures splattered onto the ground. I actually liked how this spot turned out. I wanted the road to kind of curve around Able Sisters and to build, similar to the museum, a sort of patio space leading to the beach because it's very close to the beach, just to give them a bit of storefront access, because their store really deserves that. This did take a while because there are so many different patterns to use for the road, and it's my first time using this design, so I really wanted to make sure it looked right. I was on the fence at whether I thought this road was too purple and not neon enough, but I also remembered that I could replace the designs and they will automatically update when I replace them. So I thought, for now, we're just gonna commit to the purple, and if we ever get bored of it, we can throw it into Photoshop and change up the color a bit, maybe add some glowing neon lights to the street lines and see how that looks. But for now, I'm just kind of creating a nice sidewalk area where we can put some decoration. Adding these cute little moon stamps to the side. I personally like how close it is to the beach, and it gives us some room for decoration. But here's the road. I know it wasn't exactly a decorating moment, but I'm really glad that we were finally able to put purpose to this beginning area and to find a place for the museum and a place for the Able Sisters. I still have a lot of houses that are in the way that need to be moved before I can do another terraforming build like this, but now it opens up the possibility for decoration. It's a good first start for Jupiter Shores.